Opening day is just about here for the Dodgers. Everybody's excited. Some questions, though, there are some still left unanswered. Should KyleHurt, the Dodgers minor league pitcher of the year last year, should he make the roster? Will he make the roster? Let's talk about it. So should KyleHurt make the Dodgers roster, and does he deserve to make the roster? The answer is I think he probably will, and absolutely yes. In 2023, at the AA level, which is where he spent most of his time, he had a strikeout per nine rate of 15.23. When he moved up to AAA, hey, that PCL, that is a very hitter-friendly league. But he still had a strikeout per nine rate of 14. He and Sauer and Lau tied for the highest swinging strike percentage. So, hey, man, this guy can strike out just about anybody. We also saw in the one outing against the Padres, he struck out some really good hitters for them in that limited sample size. Kept that strikeout rate at 13.5 per nine, 50% strikeout rate. So last year at AA, strikeout rates of 39.4, 38.5, and 50%. And then at the major league level, 22% as well. So KyleHurt, hey, like I've always said, when he is in the zone, he has some of the most explosive stuff in the system, as you can see here with these statistics. So one of the things that the Dodgers feel like he can do, one of the reasons why it would be advantageous to keep him in the bullpen with Gavin Stone being awarded the fifth starter, congratulations, Gavin, well-deserved, is that they feel like he can get both right-handers out and left-handers. So let's take a look at how he does against lefties. So this is from his last start right here. This is just a fastball in the inner half. Now see where this ball starts on the inner half, and because his ball has so many RPMs, I'm actually going to show you a new feature I have here in just a second. Let me get to it right there. Because his ball has so many RPMs, instead of sliding over the plate and becoming hittable and or dropping down into a typical lefty's kind of uppercut type swing, because this thing has so many RPMs, look how it carries the inner half of the zone, and look where it finishes up. See there on the inner half? That is because this ball had very little movement, and it stayed on its location because it has such great carry to it and such great RPMs. Now, what do those RPMs do? Hey, there's some guys that can throw 100 miles an hour, but the ball is decelerating by the time it gets to the plate, so it looks like it's only coming in at 90, 91. They do record the ball at the fastest point, which is usually right out of the hand. But you can tell with KyleHurt, just looking at the way that this ball stayed on plane and the way the hitter reacted to it, his ball does not decelerate because it has such great carry and ride to it. Other words, RPMs or spin rate, however you want to say it. And again, because of that, watch this hitter right here. Watch how tied up they are. Just on a regular fastball in the inner half. I mean, really tied up. So what is he going to play off of that? Let's watch this here. This is going to end up being his changeup. Same tunnel point right there. Again, this is the exact same tunnel point as his fastball behind a lefty here. And if you remember last time, it ended up on the inner half, so that lefty got tied up. So if you're a left-handed hitter right here, you're going to pull off a little bit and try to cheat to that inside pitch, correct? Well, go ahead and do that and see what happens to you. Whoop! Right there, the ball slides back over the plate. The lefty jumps out of the way thinking it's going to stay on the inner half. And so you saw him tunnel that changeup off of the fastball and really just tie the lefty up and then confuse him on the second pitch. And then you just use that same changeup just to make a very difficult pitch for the hitter to hit. Not necessarily tunneling anything, but just saying, hey, go ahead and try to hit this pitch. Now, see this tunnel here? You're starting this a little bit further to the arm side, but look where this ball starts, okay? Look where this ball starts, and look where it finishes. Wow. Finishes all the way over on the outer half, and keep in mind that ball started right here, and because of that, as a left-hander, it gives you the left-on-left effect. And because of that, on the 0-2 pitch, watch this lefty pull off, the ball ends up on the outer half, and now you have weak contact. So not only can KyleHurt strike out people, he can also, there's that fastball in the inner half again at 97, actually throwing that to the low corner. He can actually, using tunnel points and movement, create weak contact from lefties. We just saw an example of that. Now, he was pulling a slider you just saw there the other night. Not a big deal because his fastball and changeup were so elite, and now there is the fastball up to a lefty. So you've seen the fastball down on the first pitch, That fastball on the first pitch of the at-bat landed. Let me actually get back to it. That fastball on the first pitch of the at-bat landed right here. The second fastball of the at-bat lands right there. So he's using location, he's using movement, also very great velo, and the tunneling effect. Now there's that slider that he is pulling that I mentioned just a minute ago, but there's that fastball again away, trying to stay away from a righty, so whenever he throws that changeup, it will ride in on their hands. Right there, because he threw that changeup before, although that changeup was off the plate. You saw that changeup right there, 96. See how that's off the plate there? What is he doing? He's setting up the hitter because he knows he's going to fade that changeup in on the hands to the righty, and so he wants that righty to kind of lean out over the plate, and when he does, that changeup, when it fades back to that right-handed hitter, is going to tie him up into knots. So let's watch how this happens. Got the righty leaning out over the plate. Now let's see how after he gets the righty leaning out, what does he do? Look at that. Come in on the right-hander there, and the right-hander's like, whoa, look at that expression. That ball moved a lot. Let's just look at exactly how much this ball moved. So not only did he have the right-hander thinking outside because of the previous fastball, not only did he do that, let's look at exactly how much this ball moves. Look at that. Look at that fade and also that tumble into a righty. This is just an incredible pitch. That's an incredible pitch, the movement. And by the way, as you can see, it stayed in the strike zone. And that hitter's like, whoo, I'm not sure I've ever seen anything like that before. And now he is going to finish it off. We saw the fade and a little bit of tumble last time. What you're going to see now is more tumble to this changeup. He's going to change the shape of his changeup to give this righty even a different look from here. And here you go. There it is. See that right there? See that depth to that changeup? And now the righty is on top of that and has absolutely no idea what's coming. And when you don't have any idea what's coming against KyleHurt, throw the four seam up in the zone, and it is game, set, and match. That is some elite stuff from KyleHurt that you just saw, and that was from his performance the other night. That's why he has strikeout rates in the 15 range. That's why he can get lefties out. That's why he can get righties out. And that's why when KyleHurt executes the way that he's capable of, you saw it with your own eyes. He is 100% totally, completely, and entirely elite at every single level. It's simply a matter of him executing, and like he said the last time I talked to him, it's all about repeating his delivery.
Honestly, there's just been one thing, and it's just been repeating my delivery, and that's just the main thing that I've been focusing on. And sometimes it can get out of hand in games, but I feel like this year more, when guys get on base, I've kind of gotten better at getting out of those sticky situations and just going back to what I've been doing my whole life and just throwing that ball. So just keeping that delivery the same every single time has been huge for me this year.
So let's talk about your stuff right now. You've reached as high as 99. You have all the strikeouts. Seems to be like the sequencing is the slider to the righties, the curveball to the lefties. You've been in zone with all that, so talk about your stuff.
Fastball changeup is definitely the better combination for even lefties and righties, and kind of getting that curveball in there early to show them I have it and keep them honest on it. And the slider has been a pitch that I've kind of been working on most this year, and just it's not really sweepy. It's more of just like a bullet cutter kind of pitch, just to keep them honest on the heater. So I mean, I'm kind of mixing everything lefty and righty. So yeah, that's definitely at this level. That's more. It comes more into play with the better hitters. So
what do you think? Should KyleHurt make the opening day roster? Has he earned the right to be on the opening day roster? And also have to mention, just because he makes the roster for these first two games in Korea does not also mean he will be on the roster once they get back into the States. The Dodgers are going to have spring training, and then from there they could reassess and work some roster stuff that the major leagues, I think, is going to let them do because of these Korea games. And so he could still start in AAA once we get back to stateside. I certainly hope that doesn't happen. I've made my case for why KyleHurt is absolutely elite. And also, he's just a wonderful young man. He comes from a family. His dad played Division I football in the SEC at Ole Miss. His grandpa played in the NFL. So you're talking about a guy that comes from great bloodlines. His brother was one of the best lacrosse players in in the region, and he played lacrosse. He played many different sports. He was a great linebacker in football. And an interesting story about him, I always like to talk. Interesting that he was actually drafted by the Marlins. He was traded by the Dodgers for Dylan Floro in the deal that sent Floro to the Marlins. And before he had ever thrown a pitch for Miami, he was traded. Interesting story about how all that went down.
Yeah, I actually got a notification on my phone, like the ESPN thing, and I just saw.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it said Dylan Floro goes to the Marlins for Alex Vesia and KyleHurt, and I was like, wow, that was.
So you got notified in your car, and then you got the ESPN notification after that. That's cool, isn't it?
I was like, wow, it's really official now.
That's almost like playing a video game and playing yourself on the video game.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So I hope you enjoyed our high velo feature today on KyleHurt. He definitely has high velo, and he has ascended through the ranks at a high velocity rate as well. Let's hope that he continues that momentum. He gets all the opportunity that he has deserved, and he continues that high velocity, if you will, trajectory all the way through the minor leagues, and he shows all the Dodgers fans what he has shown all of us that we have seen on his way to the major leagues, and that is that dominant strikeout stuff. So I hope you enjoyed today's feature, and until next time, go Dodgers.